following is a paid advertisement program provided by Premier Investments and Wealth Management. An airing of the program is not to be considered an endorsement or recommendation. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts, guests and callers and not necessarily of this station or iHeartMedia. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC. The opinions voiced in this show are for general information purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, and financial or tax advisor prior to investing. The information in the following program should not be construed as an offer to sell and is not intended to replace the advice of a qualified tax advisor or legal counsel.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Premier Investments and Wealth Management Financial Program. My name is Doug Wagner, your host. Before I introduce the two guests who are with me in the room, I want to call your attention to your phone, to your laptop, to your tablet, maybe even your desktop if you're sitting there. I want you to find your favorite browser and open it up. Go to premieriwm.com. That is the website for Premier Investments and Wealth Management, Investments Wealth Management, IWM. Yeah? Okay. Click on Get Started. Once you're there, answer a couple of questions. All you have to do is do that, and they will provide for you what's called a one-page Premier Vision document. Now, they'll initiate an appointment with you because they want to go over this with you because this is your roadmap for your financial future. Are you ready for retirement? Do you even know if you're ready for retirement? Well, you can find out by going to premieriwm.com, click Get Started, answer the questions, schedule that appointment. In the room with me today, he's the Vice President and Wealth Advisor, Premier Investments and Wealth Management. He's the new sheriff in town. By now, he's probably the less new sheriff in town, but he still's got a really good shelf life. Elias Randall.
Doug, hello.
Good to see you again.
Happy to be seen. Happy to be here filming another episode with you.
Awesome. This is great stuff. Also with us in the room, President and Wealth Advisor in Premier Investments and Wealth Management with over 21 years of experience in the financial services industry. He's an accredited investment fiduciary. Some people may think that he would dress up as a Swedish chef for this, but no, he's going to be the captain of the boat that goes out and gets Jaws, the big kahuna, Roger Abel.
Wow. Bringing the heat. This is, I guess this is how we get all spooktacular about Halloween. I feel like Elias should have some like 6-shooters on his side.
Oh.
Spurs going as he's the new sheriff in town. Should have got, is that going to be your Halloween outfit?
Yeah, my Halloween costume this year is going to be a sheriff.
You know,
new sheriff in town.
Yeah. You know what? You're going to be a good Sam Elliott guy someday. You're going to have that white hair like that, and you're going to have that mustache, and the ladies are just going to be.
Can you see all my gray hair starting to show?
No, I can't.
It's getting pretty bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's getting bad.
So Elias, my youngest daughter, last year I believe it was, went as a police officer, but she walked around and just told people she was only giving out warnings. You take him to jail? Nope, just warnings.
Just warnings.
Just warnings.
Here's your warning.
Yeah. You know what? Here's the deal is that investing doesn't have to be scary. Preparing for your financial future doesn't have to be terrifying. It doesn't have to be a thriller night. So you go to premieriwm.com, click on Get Started. Make sure you answer the questions. They will schedule the appointment with you. You can even do it online right there. Or the phone number to call, Elias, is
800-383-6590.
My singing either put you into a trance or made you so ill you had to just steady yourself.
You started singing Thriller, so then I started thinking about the music video.
Dun, dun.
Yes.
Isn't that what you guys play during pumpkin carving?
Yeah.
My
we
wife
do with
puts
the
on
Monster Mash, all of them.
In the garage.
Mm-hmm.
On comes Thriller.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of a Abel family tradition. We're carving the pumpkins. Got a little Thriller going.
I remember we did that in the kitchen one time, and it was the stupidest thing to ever do.
Garage only.
Yeah, garage only. You can sweep all that stuff outside otherwise.
Well, it turns into just a dad project. You know, they're good for like cutting off a stem.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
And after that, it's all my project.
Exactly. I know. The other thing, get your drill the hole, and then you can saw your way around and take the top off.
Okay, I saw a better idea, and I don't know why it's taken us forever to figure it out.
Yeah.
They just cut the bottom out.
Oh.
So the top never comes out, and then you just set it on the candle.
That's a fabulous idea.
You don't cut the top off. We've been trying to do all this monkey business. They just cut the bottom.
That's a really
And then they
good
had it on
idea.
a plate and a candle and just set it right on top of there.
Wow.
And it took a 60-second TikTok to
That's
learn
exactly how I found out
to
about
learn
it.
something that just makes more sense.
Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
my wife showed me. I'm like, yeah, what's taking so long for us to figure this out?
No, let's do it the hard way.
Yeah,
The
why
old-
not?
The only thing I wonder
old-fashioned.
about
Exactly.
that is, will it actually rot faster because it has the weight on it and all the other stuff?
Good question.
don't
And
know.
you're cooking the top, and it's just sitting there with no.
What?
You're cooking the top with the candle.
Yeah, but we can't use real candles
Is it outside or inside?
outside.
You can't use real candles?
It'd be bad for the environment. No, I'm kidding. But we use all battery operated candles.
That's good.
Seen the look I
mean,
got.
I know. I'm scared for the environment now. That's my scared face. All right. There's a story. Paul Long of New Way Forward, he wrote an article entitled that retirement isn't all it's cracked up to be. Actually, it's much worse. A lot of people, Roger Abel, I think they're afraid to come to you and to investment professionals and wealth advisors because they maybe are 40 years old, 45, and they really haven't started to do much of anything. They're almost embarrassed. They're ashamed. They're scared of what they're going to find out. Talk to me a little bit about that so that we can talk people off the financial ledge, if we will.
I think this is really similar to how I feel about going to the doctor. So a good friend of mine was a retired pediatrician. He's older than I am. He's probably 25 years older than me. And this is about 5 years ago. We were at his house for a little event. And my wife was giving me a hard time because I hadn't got a physical, since college. Because that's just what guys do. And I was like 42. And he looked over and he goes, "What do you mean you haven't had a physical?" I go, "Yeah, no,
I don't do those.
Well, and part of the reason is I don't want to go there and find out all the lifestyle changes I have to make, right? Because I know I'm not, you can't eat Mexican and pizza and chicken wings every night and think you're going to get a clean bill of health. So you just don't want to go. Like, you're better off not knowing. And I think that's human nature. And I think that same analogy is the same with financial planning.
Mm-hmm.
People that know they're behind don't really want someone to tell them and make them feel worse about themselves.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that we try to do is not make people feel bad, but show them, hey, well, maybe you're not 100% on track right now. Because you're here at 40, we can make these small lifestyle changes, whether it's your health or your financial health. You can make these small lifestyle changes and be exactly where you want to be in 25 years.
Yeah.
And think about health. It's the same way. If you look at your finances like your health, if you go to the doctor and you have high cholesterol, high blood pressure medication, your blood sugars are high, do you fix that in a week? No. You fix it with diet and exercise over a course of 6 months, a year, and then it has to be long term.
Right.
Otherwise, you just go back there. Retirement planning is exactly the same. And I think it freaks people out to find out where they are. We've had situations, I know, I can think about one, Elias, that we had a gal come in here who I knew outside of work, and she was pretty nervous about where she was. And by the time we walked her through the one-page financial plan and all the stuff, she really was in pretty good shape. She just didn't realize it because I think people get on social media. Just say you're 45, you get on social media, look at all this stuff, all these other people have, and you think they have all this money. And you look at your account, you're like, man, I got $300,000 in my 401k. How am I ever going to have that? And it's not reality.
Yeah.
And I think what we're able to do is bring to some reality to the situation for people and get them on the right track if they're not on track for their goals already.
And the sooner the better. Go ahead.
Well,
You were gonna say
people
something.
may be feeling a little bit spooked or scared with their retirement planning. There are a lot of times, and Roger just shed light on one, that people are in a better position than what they think or know, and it's really just a product. They don't know where they stand today.
Right.
And so kind of with our process, kind of the beginning of the process is, well, let's define where we're at today. Do we even know, are we on track for having this same lifestyle throughout time? So I think there's even people who have done a really good job and they're just unaware of the real position that they're in and what they're on track for.
Right.
And if you don't know, anytime you don't know something, it can be spooky and scary. Well, you can eliminate that, right, by doing a financial plan and just getting the information Like when Roger went and got a physical, he got valuable information that
Yeah.
probably has used to correct some health things or be healthier in general, right?
Yeah.
I stopped eating like a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Went for a walk.
And
Pretty simple. Same thing Wags is doing right now.
Yeah.
Just took
Yeah.
him 10 years longer.
exactly. Here's the critical thing, though, is that you're actually going to end up saving money on the back end
sure.
of that. Yeah, because you put away all the things instead of going out for wings and pizza and Mexican and Italian every night. Oh, I got to hit the special. And then you just wash it down with whatever the alcoholic fruit of the day is. You put that money away. You can actually put that to good use instead. So it's important.
And
I mean, you can't cut out everything, but ironically, you mentioned the alcoholic beverage of the day.
Yeah.
I pretty much gave up all like craft beer 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I had my first one at the Halloween parade the other night.
Uh-oh. Yeah? Was it a pumpkin spice ale kind of thing?
No,
Or
it
what
was
it?
Deep Eddy.
Oh,
What's
okay.
it?
Like an easy, like
Easy
an
Eddy. It was an Easy Eddy.
Yeah, it's
It was
a
an
hazy
easy-
IPA.
Yeah, hazy IPA.
Yeah, that's
My
good
wife's
stuff.
like, "Oh, you like this?" I'm like, "I used to,"
Yeah,
because she brought it
Yeah.
back for me. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll drink it though. Sounds good."
I'm going to guess you still do.
exactly.
It feels delicious.
Do you ever feel like your financial goals are just out of reach? It's time to take control of your future with Premier Investments and Wealth Management, your partner in financial independence. Imagine a financial plan that's as individual as you are. At Premier Investments and Wealth Management, our team of experienced advisors will work closely with you to create a roadmap tailored to your dreams, whether it's buying a home, retiring comfortably, or starting a business. We believe in transparency and education. We'll help simplify complex financial concepts, provide clear guidance, and empower you to make informed decisions. Financial wellness is within your grasp. Visit www.premieriwm.com to schedule a meeting with an experienced advisor today.
Premier Investments and Wealth Management, premieriwm.com. You can make your appointment online. You can also click Get Started, answer a couple of questions. They will provide for you a one-page Premier Vision document. Just sit down for an appointment with them. It's no obligation, no fee appointment after you do that. And you do that, they'll let you take that Premier Vision document home. I'm a client. You know, just full disclosure, you can take that home. I think that you're going to want to be a client as well. Make the appointment online, premieriwm.com, or the phone number, Elias, is
800-383-6590.
It does not have to be spooky or scary to get into retirement. A lot of it comes into mindset for a lot of people. And there's an interesting study by Dr. Becca Levy, a psychologist at Yale University, talked about you can actually increase your lifespan by having a positive mindset, which is critical and something you foster and encourage people to do here at Premier Investments and Wealth Management.
We do, and I think that's one of the first things that probably happens with a new family is their confidence is built up in their situation and what they're doing, because regardless of where you stand financially and how much money you've accumulated,
Right.
it's nearly all families as they transition to retirement have some sort of fear related to that. It could be, how should I be investing at this time in my life?
Mm-hmm.
How much money can I spend? How long can I plan for this money to last? Am I going to have money to leave for the next generation? And even as simple as, and this is a basic one, but we get this all the time, how do I take money out of my accounts? Right? Because when you retire and you start living off of
Right.
your retirement accounts, it's a valid question. But if you don't know the answer, you're just sitting there wondering and maybe a little bit spooked out about, well, how do I actually take money out? How does that work?
Yeah.
And it can be as simple as a direct deposit link to your bank, set up just like your paycheck is once a month, every other week, bi-weekly on the 1st and the 15th. So just kind of shedding light on all those little kind of mechanical things, that helps people a lot to understand that this transition doesn't need to be scary. And
Yeah.
the big picture thing that scares people is you're not working anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So where's that paycheck going to come from?
And it's the unknown. And the other thing about this, Roger, too, that's critical is that if financial professionals, I mean, if you're going to make a brick wall, you're going to hire a mason. You're not going to try it yourself, because if that thing falls apart, then it collapses and crushes. If you take and try to withdraw that money, all this stuff, do it on your own, great, you can try it. But if you make a mistake, that can be a huge burden on you, tax and penalty wise as well. That's why you need a financial professional.
People are rightfully so scared of retirement because most people haven't done any planning. Statistics show us 27% of the people are confident going into retirement. About 27% of the population has a financial plan. I mean, I think about the clients that I have that have went into retirement with no concern about spending money, taking money out, and doing all the things they want to do. And they're the ones who've put a lot of effort into figuring out how much they're going to spend in retirement. We've modeled it in a financial plan, and they're going on their 4 or 5 vacations a year. I think of one family right now, they're spending a lot of money, but we planned on them spending a lot of money the first 10 years of retirement.
Go-go phase.
Their go-go phase are going to slow down. Now, conversely, the people who put no effort into the financial plan or minimum effort, because we have that, that's okay. Still help you. They're the ones that have the biggest concern.
Yeah.
You know, the individual who said, hey, we want to work with you, put a little bit of effort in the financial plan. Didn't, you know, I ask, well, how much do you spend? They say, well, I spend $1,000 a month. I don't have any debt. Like when I say minimum effort, that's what I'm talking about. They didn't think through vacations and family and all the other things. Those are the families that have trouble spending the money.
Yeah.
Because they're super nervous are going to run out.
And the scary thing, too, is you have people that are out there is they have something, you know, this mindset of if you're not living outside your means, then you suffer from a lack of imagination. That's got to scare you almost when you hear people doing that.
Say that again.
If you're not living outside your means, you suffer from a lack of imagination.
Where'd you hear that
before?
And
where'd you hear that?
That was
who
some
loves,
bad financial show.
No, it's somebody who loves to spend. The whole idea is that you spend. I mean, if you trap yourself by, you know, hey, I'm going to spend on my budget, then you don't have a fruitful imagination. You have a boring life. That's the concept.
Okay, so I'll take the counter argument
Bring
to
it.
that. There are
Resolved.
Yeah. So there are many people out there that are living the lifestyle they want to have and still being financially responsible, building wealth and doing all of these things. And I think, and I'll touch on this a little bit, one thing doing a financial plan can do for you, for the person who's worried about not spending enough because then you don't have a creative imagination. Is that what it is? Yeah. So if you have a creative imagination and you do want to spend a lot, having a financial plan actually can eliminate the risk of underspending in retirement. So we can help people define what is the most amount of money you could spend every year and never run out. What's the most amount of money you could spend for the next 10 years and then maybe dial that back some and still never run out of money. So I think regardless of where, and trust me, Roger and I, we are not proponents of let's hoard away all of our pennies and leave it to the kids and not ever spend any money. I think our clients, once we know that what their kind of spending thresholds are, then it's a green light. Go ahead, spend your money and enjoy it. And if things change at some point, we have to have that conversation. But no one worked hard to save what they have to not enjoy it, I don't believe.
It lends itself to just the process that we walk people through, Elias. You know, segmenting their money into this is what I need to live from retirement until the day I die. This is what I want to do for X amount of years. And these are the things that I wish I could do if I can accomplish the other things. And what that does is, like you said, we never run the risk of underspending. We're going to try to maximize it. It reminds me of the clients I work with that they don't have any beneficiaries, no kids, you know, just the two of them. They have 2 pensions, 2 Social Security checks, and a lot of money saved. And the Social Security and pension checks alone are more money than they'll ever spend in an annual year, like at one time. And I said, is there a reason you guys wouldn't try to spend most of this money by the time you're 80? Whether it's on you or being charitable to the organizations that you're passionate about. You know, if the church is where you want to leave some money, why are you going to wait till the end? Well, why don't you do it now? Probably can go to use. But that's having a really dialed in financial plan right there. And the more effort people put in, the more they get out of it, the better outcome, the better they feel.
Premier Investments in Wealth Management, you can go to the website at premieriwm.com, click Get Started, answer a few questions. They'll provide a one-page Premier Vision document. They'll take the time to go over it with you. That's yours to keep once you have that free, no obligation appointment with them. You can make the appointment online, or you can give them a phone call. The number, Elias, is
800-383-6590.
We're talking about the things that could be spooky or scary about retirement and saving for your retirement. I think some people are very concerned that they can, get there and they can start doing this, and then all of a sudden, out from the grave comes this hand to reach and steal all your money.
You just scared me.
Yeah, that was the point.
Not expecting that out of the bushes, Doug.
So the idea is to make sure that you have a financial plan that you don't have to worry about. This is something with all the chaos since COVID hit. I mean, there are a couple of things that I've noticed from you all at Premier Investments and Wealth Management, and me as a client and your other clients, is that the peace of mind that people have, number one, but number two, the idea that it's a lot of this is psychological, Roger. It's not a thriller as far as the way you don't want to set up a thriller as far as your retirement. You don't want it to be exciting. You encourage people to actually have conversations, seek out role models, maybe not investing advice from people, but talk to people whom you respect. They're living the kind of life you want to live. Sit down with them and say, hey, how did you get to where you are? Because there's no such thing as the original idea.
I mean, that's really good advice, truth be told. I try to emulate people that I think have done a good job in our industry from a career standpoint. And I try to emulate people that I think have done a good job saving money and building wealth and doing those different things. And you're right, there are really not very many original ideas. I mean, if you have a really original one, you're probably going to make a lot of money. I don't know. You put her together. But most of us aren't Elon Musk. And I think that's part of aging, is becoming more mature and realizing there's other people that know how to do it. And I think one thing, if I was, let's say, like 58, and I'm really starting to think about what retirement looks like, just ask yourself the question, or ask your spouse. Let's walk through the first year of retirement. What does the first year of retirement look like? That's the first thing I would do, is really, hey, what are we going to do the day we retire? What's the first thing we're going to do? What's the next 12 months look like? I would do that. The second thing I would do is I go find somebody that's like 75 to 80 that's been successful, done a good job saving. Just ask them, what's your number one regret? And the number one regret likely is going to be not doing things that they could have done when they first retired, because they were completely paralyzed by the idea of not having enough money. And most of that can be planned away. You know, we watch the reality of how people spend money, and we're privy to understand how this financial planning software works and all the assumptions. And one of the assumptions that happens in a financial planning software, you assume people are going to spend more money every year.
Yeah.
Reality of the matter is, if somebody sets up a $5,000 a month ACH out of their investment account,
ACH.
Automatic bank link, just send it right to your bank account.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
you're taking $5,000 a month, whatever number it is. They start at 65. Very rarely, well, never have they ever come in the next year and said, well, inflation was 4%. Give me 4% more. That doesn't happen. Most of the time, they never increase their withdrawal. So what actually happens? What's really happening, they're spending less because inflation's making things more expensive. But that's kind of what happens as you get older. You're not going to spend as much money when you're 80 as you do when you're 65.
Right.
Now, I mean, you go to a nursing home, that's, a different story.
Different bucket.
But I think if you ask people that are 75, 80, 82, what's your number one regret about retirement? Most of the time I ask, it's, I wish I would have done this when I still could.
Yeah. One of the final things, we've got about 5 minutes left in the program. Elias Randall, I think that there are so many people that they're used to this idea that, I got to take Social Security right when it's time for me to do that because, I hit retirement age and all of a sudden the bandages come on, ooh, I'm a mummy. It's not the way that it is anymore, is it? People are living longer, more productive lives.
People are. And in regards to your Social Security, there's different ways to figure out how you should file for that. But I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all solution for filing for Social Security. There's a lot that goes into the decision. Some of it's a crystal ball decision because we don't know how long someone is going to live.
Right.
But I think there's a couple things you can think about is, do you need it? Would it be better for your situation if that income source was higher on a monthly or annual basis? And then what is your benefit versus your spouse's benefit? But those are all exercises that we take people through to help them make a decision on how to do that.
And it's important that people recognize this, Roger. To me, this concept of, I keep on saying I'm 57 going on 38. I literally feel younger because we talked about I've been getting healthier. I feel like I'm going to live forever. I mean, it sounds goofy to say that, but I just feel like I've got plenty of track left to run, and people don't have to be scared of living. Maybe they need to be scared about something else, outliving their retirement.
Well, if you haven't planned, you gotta worry about it. I think one thing I would caution people about is you made a comment. I'm 58. You're feeling good, right? Mm-hmm. So right now, I know you don't plan on retiring.
No.
So 33% of people in America would answer the question, when do you plan on retiring? Mm-hmm. Never, or at age 70.
Right.
So that's the camp I fall in right now. Mm-hmm. Now, realistically, 30% of the population retires at 60 or before. Only 6% of the people actually make it till 70. Because here's what happens. You lose a job.
Yeah.
You get sick, or you realize you actually went and got a plan. You realize, oh, wow, I can actually do this, and maybe I don't want to go every day. So here's what I tell people you should be planning on. If you're in the camp that says, hey, I want to work forever, I'm in that camp. I love what I do. Realistically, I won't be able to work forever. I mean, we all have a time when you're not going to be able to work, whether it's death, disability, your husband or wife says it's time to call it quits, whatever. Mm-hmm. I think everybody should set up what they call date of financial independence. So regardless if you plan on retiring, mm-hmm. plan on having financial independence so you give yourself that choice.
Okay.
I have a date that I plan on being financially independent. What I found is when people do this, they actually work longer mm-hmm. because like, man, I'm here. I can just work as long as I want now.
Yeah.
It's not about money. It's because I like it. Or they realize I don't really like that job. We've got an individual right now. He's 75 years mm-hmm. old. They have more money than they can spend. They don't know what to do with it. Mm-hmm. He's only working because of the sense of community, and he likes his job. Yeah. He said, I don't know what I would do if I just sat home all day. He's an engineer, and he just loves what he does. That's the only reason he's working.
Doing it because he wants to, not because he has to. Financial independence, that's one of the things that they talk about at Premier Investments and Wealth Management, premieriwm.com. Head to the website. There's lots of really cool downloadable stuff over there. Also, we'll connect you with these two have a podcast that they do, a video podcast that they do on a regular basis. You can also get it on all the major platforms, including iHeart. Down that. It's called Behind the Wealth with Roger Abel and Elias Randall. Appreciate you hanging out with me here today. 800-383-6590 is the phone number to call to make your appointment. Quick hit, favorite costume you've ever worn as a kid?
It's not kid. I'm going to do adult.
And it is?
My wife and I went as Walmart greeters, and we did win.
There you go.
We did win the contest.
As well you should. Elias?
Probably when I was really into Ninja Turtles as a kid. That was probably my favorite outfit. Favorite picture of myself from Halloween anyway.
I'm Batman. We'll talk to you next week, folks.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA. The opinions voiced in this show are for general information purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, and financial or tax advisor prior to investing. Premier Investments and Wealth Management and LPL Financial do not provide tax advice. Please consult your tax professional. Economic forecasts set forth may not develop as predicted, and there can be no guarantee that strategies promoted will be successful. There's no guarantee that a diversified portfolio will enhance overall returns or outperform a non-diversified portfolio. Diversification does not protect against market risk. All performance referenced is historical and is not a guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and cannot be invested into directly. There is no assurance that the techniques and strategies discussed are suitable for all investors or will yield positive outcomes. The purchase of certain securities may be required to affect some of the strategies. Investing involves risks, including possible loss of principal.